Yes, a 7-year-old boy and his dad have been rescued by a Coast Guard helicopter crew after getting cut off by the tide near Hornsea in East Yorkshire. The rescue yesterday evening was made difficult by large waves and unstable cliffs, which are peppered with old wartime bombs. Crispin Rolfe is at Mappleton.
Peter, it's only an hour or so to high tide. You can see just how much of the beach is left along the East Yorkshire coast. Imagine if you get stuck down there. The only places to get back onto the cliff are here where we are at Mappleton, or 4 miles to the south at Aldborough. So it's easy to see just how you could get trapped.
Every single one of us who was tasked that job yesterday was in grave danger. The sea conditions were atrocious. And the danger there was in the selves, you know. There was perched 30 foot up a vertical cliff face with waves breaking up the bottom 10 foot. Some of these waves were breaking right to the top of the cliff. You know, there was some serious conditions down there last night.
Strong winds, crumbling cliffs and unexploded bombs. The challenges facing rescuers after a father and son found themselves trapped by a rising tide yesterday evening. Farmer John Dawson was one of those watching on as first Hornsea Inshore Rescue, then Coast Guard volunteers tried to reach them from sea and land before then having to call in aerial support.
The helicopter was nosed out and the sea was lashing up like hell. It was real bad. It'd be about after 2 last night, 7 o'clock time, and there was a lot of ground crew. We saw the helicopter hoist somebody down and he kept circling, and we feared the worst, really.
Walking along the coastline here, it's all too easy to get trapped between the sea and East Yorkshire's cliffs, which is exactly what happened to the man in this incident and his 7-year-old son. Fortunately, they were successfully rescued, but the challenge even for them wasn't just to get to the cliffs, but to climb them.
The coastal emergency services have trained for these conditions, but with another summer season ahead, they're calling on beachgoers to check the tides before walking along this inaccessible coastline.
Because we've got an easterly at the moment, they're coming fast, you can soon get cut off. With the erosion towards Mappleton and Cowden area, it creates like bays.
You can Google tide times and stuff, you know, to see what time it's in, what time it's out, how high it is. And so if you are going to go on the beach, if the tide does look like it's coming in, probably give it a miss.
Tonight, everyone's back safe and well from these cliffs. But with the Easter holidays beginning, rescuers say it's always nice not to be needed.
Peter, what's amazing is that despite these warnings and despite warnings there about the cliffs, there's no actual signs telling you to check the tide times before you come somewhere like this slipway to access the beach. Instead, the advice is if you do get into trouble, you simply have to dial 999 and call for the Coast Guard. That's the advice. That's the problem that everyone faces getting onto the beach.
Crispin, thank you very much indeed. As Faye was saying there in the report, there is no excuse for people not knowing the tide times. It's easily, even more so, easily available now. Well done to the Hornsea Inshore Rescue and also the Coast Guard for that one.